Hey there, Synth Explorers! Welcome back to Akubi Music. Today we're going to be making epic synth soundscapes using one patch and in 3 simple steps. And it's going to sound a little something like this. Alright, let's go check it out. How we're going to do this today is we're going to start off with a sort of a core bass sound. So we're going to be using VCO2, which is going to be the sub. So I'm going to add a bass layer in, literally bass, as well as a sort of a foundation sound that's going to be what we use to actually make the kind of the core of the sound. And then we're going to be using VCO1 as a kind of highly modulated sound, which will go on top of everything else. So we're going to start off by looking at VCO2 on its own. So I'm going to turn VCO1 down, turn VCO2 up. So yeah, got simple saw wave at the moment. So first of all, I'm going to change the setting for the sub to go onto level. So that way we're adding in a sub layer rather than making a kind of a sub variation of the main oscillator. So now we can hear that. So that's cool. So we've got a bit of a bottom layer now. Cool, so let's do a few sort of variations to VCO2 to kind of get a nice core sound, which we're going to use for the harmonic kind of content. Half tempted to do a sort of a bit of a pulse width modulation sound here. So what I like to do is have a slow LFO, which can do sort of gradual changes, and then I also like to have a more random LFO, and that's synced to the beat. And then I also like to have, if I've got another LFO available, a sort of a faster modulation as well, which we can also sync, which would be cool. Let's make this not too fast, but a bit faster. So let's have a little bit of this LFO3 onto the pulse width modulation. So let's pop that in there. A little bit slower. Progression that I made earlier, so we can tweak while we go. Let me turn the sub down a little bit so it's a bit more in the mix. Maybe we'll make this a little bit higher as well. Nice. Cool. All right. So now I'm gonna put VCO2 to the ladder filter, and that's by using this button here. That's so that we can use the Steiner-Parker filter for VCO1, which has more varied options in terms of the filter cutoff. So yeah, we've got a band pass, a high pass, and a low pass on there. So yeah, we're going to use the ladder filter for the main foundation sound. Let's get a little filter envelope opening nice and slow. Slow now. Watch is telling me to move. I am moving. But what else can we do? So let's maybe have a little bit of modulation on the ladder filter cut off. I'm also going to change the fine-tune settings. A bit more variation on these. You can instantly hear that sounds better. And the other thing I like to do is use the mod envelope to have a really slow attack and decay, so that we've got a slow option to bring in various things. So I think what I'll do here is use that on the stereo filter, which you can't see in the video, but yeah, I'm going to use that. So let's do that. 6. Then we can have voices spread out as the patch evolves, which is quite nice as well. So let's do that. Machine up there. So as we get a new chord, it'll spread out really nice. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. The other thing I like to do is add a little bit of glide. Again, slightly off the camera. Struggle to fit everything in, but I like to add a little bit of glide in, so we've got a little bit of a scoop. There we go. That's nice. Cool. A little bit of key tracking. That's always good. So always worth checking out key tracking. Definitely check out Ricky Tinez video, which I will put a link to in the description about key tracking and how useful it is. But I'm just going to add a little bit on here just to mix things up. Cool. So that's quite a nice kind of coarse sound. Now what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing on VCO1 now. So I'm going to turn VCO2 down. And this is where the real fun begins, because we're going to add a lot more variations to the sound, and we're going to be able to gradually layer this in as the patch evolves. So we've got our kind of core sound with a bit of sub in there, so it's a nice thick warm sound, and we're going to eke in this other oscillator, which is going to be a lot more textural and a lot more modulated to go on top. So let's do that now. So here's just VCO1. Something very much the same or similar at the moment. So really like this metalizer. So what I like to do is add a bit of the random LFO, which is synced to the tempo, to a few different things. So we've got a bit of sort of peeking in and out of different sounds. So we've got this intrigue going on. So let's do that first. So LFO2, let's put that. Let's change this. Cool. A little bit of variation on that down. What we can also do is, change the slope here. A bit lower. What I also like to do is put the resonance up a bit, so we've got a bit of variation on there. And additionally, I'm going to add the resonance to here. So now we can add in that same random LFO onto the resonance. We've got those little peaks of resonance coming through. You can hear that coming through now. And I'm also going to do that for the cutoff. So the other thing I'm going to do is, I forgot to do this earlier. Yeah, we're going to put VCO1 into the Steiner Parker filter only. So now we've got a bit of a, that's more like it. I was wondering why it wasn't working properly. Great. Down a bit. Cool, so we've got some interesting variations going in there. Let's see what else we can do. So one of the other things that I like to do is I'm going to use LFO3 to bring up the noise level. So we've got this kind of noise coming in and out, which I think would also be quite cool. So let's quite like the noise, quite low on here, so that it's less white noise and more variations in there. So let's do that. Let's put that to of them. So we've got that coming through on both filters. Change the symmetry so it's yeah, that's cool. Alright. So one of the other things that I really like to do on the Polybrute is modulate the second filter with this with the noise. So let's actually pull in the volume of this. You can hear that. Hear it loads there. But I like to just add a little bit in to give it a bit of variation. Nice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this mod envelope to bring in the volume of VCO1 so that really gradually comes through, and I might do the same with the noise as well, so let's do that. Turn the volume down and then add it in. It's kind of coming in gradually. Down a bit. Yeah, that's sounding pretty good, I think. Let me turn this noise down a little bit. Just take that down a touch. Turn the main core sound up a little bit. Nice. So from here, this is obviously just a rough idea. You know, you could go really mad and modulate VCO1 a lot more. And obviously, depending on what synth you're using, you could really go to town on this. This is just an idea. You could also make this more rhythmic. You could add in, a more rhythmic LFO that's less random and have more of a stable rhythm coming in and out. So yeah, this is just a little starting point. It's quite nice just to add a little bit of pitch variation now and again. But yeah, so let's see how we go with a bit of modulation now. A bit of chorus is always good. Do like the chorus on here. Bit of delay. I really like the BBD ping pong. So make this a bit longer. A bit of reverb on, obviously. And I really like the delayed plate. That's awesome. That's really cool. One of the things I also like to do is, tempo sync the delay. So let's actually just do that. So let's do that. Tempo synced. And then have the delay time modulated by one of the LFOs or something. So let's do that. Let's do this delay time. And that makes, whenever you have a change in the delay time, it'll ping off a load of delay time changes, and it sounds really cool. So let's do that with LFO1 because that's getting quite slow. Let's do that. See? Little pings like that. Really cool. Just make this a little bit less. It's less frequent. Yeah, I think that's sounding pretty good. So yeah, would love to know what you think of my 3-step process for making these synth sounds. I think it's quite a nice way to build up a synth sound without needing to add in multiple new synths. You know, you can make one synth patch that does a lot of the heavy lifting and creates these epic soundscapes, and you can use those to your heart's content, really. So yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I really appreciate if you hit the like button if you liked it, and subscribe if you liked it even more. Thank you. See you again next time.